Hello and welcome to my Elite Dangerous, my fleet carrier. We're going to, maybe a treat, it could be, we're going to go land on a planet and explore. We like to do that. We like to explore the planet and see what's there and shoot rocks that we can collect materials out of. And if we find any skimmers or stingers, we will collect bounties on those, and we can turn the bounties in at our fleet carrier. That's really cool. Yes, at the moment, if you watch my previous videos you saw in live, I created 3 more pythons that look like this one, but they all have their own purpose. This is the cargo version. There'll be a mining version, there'll be a planetary version, and there's a travel version. So in the future, maybe by the next beta, I'll just be able to jump in that ship and go. I won't have to move, like right now, I'll have to move the planetary and the SRVs to the Python so we can land on a planet. And I don't like scanning the planets first that I land on, because it gives you a grid when you start getting close to it. And I like to see the planet. Now, the closer you get, the grid goes away. So, I mean, yeah, you still can scan it. But we like to explore. This is part of I like trading and I like exploring. Mining's not my strong suit, but we were able to mine between about 15 and 30 tritiums. While surface asteroid mining, yeah, the subsurface doesn't work as well for me. Someday I'll have to figure out those weapons, and I do have those subsurface mining hard points available here on the fleet carrier, so we'll probably try that in the future some more. But it's the shooting, holding the button until they hit or they bore into the asteroid. That hasn't worked as well for me. I guess I have to get used to that and have to practice more. But if you would, make sure you look to the bottom right of the video and you'll see that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me with YouTube after I get to their minimum, which they keep raising. And you get notified when I create more of these videos. Underneath the video in the description you'll see ways to donate, so please consider donating. No amount is too small, so whatever you can do. And underneath the video to the left you see my YouTube channel, GFM_RDG, and there's I believe over 540. I know there's over 535 the last I counted, and I'm sure it's well over 540 now. Videos for you to watch in about every content imaginable. Engineers, Guardians, Thargoid, all those things. Now, I don't do the combat part, so I'm not fighting Thargoids. I'm going to the surface site and collecting meta-alloys for Felicity, Farseer, Engineer. And it's kind of a creepy place. And the Guardian site collected the blueprint for the Guardian FSDs. Now, you can buy as many as you want after you get that blueprint. So I've got class 3s, class 4s, class 5s, and I can just plug them into my ships like I did in the preparing for fleet carrier video yesterday. Yesterday as of the publishing of this video, so if you're watching a year from now, yeah, you have to take that in consideration. But all I had to do is add those modded modules. There's a few I still need, so I'm going to have to make another round and pin those blueprints where I can do remote workshop with the engineers. Let me show you here. It's great. On the fleet carrier we have remote workshop. This is what's cool. There's so much cool about this. See, right now I have power distributors and the armor pinned, so that's why yesterday I was able to do the armor I had some power distribution modules that I could put on those ships, but I'll probably fine tune that. And again, I don't have them here because I don't want to, what we create in beta stays in beta. So you see my RG cutters there, but I don't want to create them in live and create all those ships over here. And it'd eat up 167 million, and on my ship I only have 199 million, and on my fleet carrier I have 436 million with 126.5 million per week in upkeep. Isn't that cool? Eventually it'll be in cobalt, just like the rest of my ships. And I've had people comment of, why do you want to put make all your ships the same color? Now see how the landing pads kind of glisten? Well, the cobalt in the hangar doesn't glisten. It kind of looks dull, but out here, oh, it looks really good. So yes, I like the cobalt in space and on the planets. And in this video, we're going to take the Python and land on a planet and get in the SRV and turn around and look at the ship as it takes off, as we send it off. And it'll go into orbit while we're running around the planet, and we can call it back. So I'm going to check something here. I had a user that says they're going to sell us 100 tritiums. Now I'm buying them at 10% less than the going rate, and that's just where you can help the fleet carrier, because it's so expensive for everything. So if you could help us out by landing on the carrier, I have it set up to all. So if you're in open, if you're in private, or you're in solo, you can come out and land on the fleet carrier. And you can either donate, well, you can't donate because my fuel tanks are full. Let's get back out. You see up there, fuel is 100%. I do have a tariff of 15. That's another problem with the fleet carrier. We have to buy it retail and then mark it up to sell it. That's crazy. The stations buy it wholesale and resale, like fuel and repair and all of that. So that's nuts. We should get it at wholesale too to resale. Now I'm sure the reason they do that is because then everybody would get that has a fleet carrier could buy, because you're buying it from yourself. So you'd be getting a discount. But you can't sell to others and make anything. It's hard. But we can, what this does is allow there to be stations basically out in uninhabited systems, like we're in an uninhabited system here. So, okay, well, I've probably talked enough. We need to go to outfitting and put on, see, the cobalt's not as pretty in the hangar, but we'll see when we get on the planet. It looks much better. So we're going to take, say, the cargo rack, transfer, go find the Planetary hangar, right there, transfer to ship. Doesn't cost anything to transfer from storage. And we have SRVs. Now, even the SRVs, I put those in cobalt on the live version. You won't see it here today, but in the next beta coming up next month, you'll get to see them, hopefully. If they take the snapshot after yesterday, or as of today, then you'll get to see those. Need to make sure we're fueled up. Repairs are good. And we're refueled. You can even buy limpets. Isn't that crazy? From your fleet carrier. you can restock your fighters. I don't have fighters. We can restock our SUVs. So that's pretty cool. We have 4 bays of SUVs. Heat sinks, or if you have hard points, you can reload them. Repairs. Core and utilities. And now this is on our ship. This is all on our ship, not what's on the fleet carrier. Okay. So what we want to do is sys left, go down to system map. We're going to go explore this planet that we're next to. See the little blue rings on the planet, on the moons? You can land on those. The ones that don't have the blue ring, you can't land on those. But see, we can land on this planet next to the fleet carrier. And see, oh, that one that was on the end, he's left. There was a fleet carrier on the end, and that looked like a pretty good planet to mine, surface mine, asteroid mine. So we'll probably do that at some point. The next video on asteroid mining, we'll go to that last planet. Okay, so we're going to go to this planet. It's an icy body, but we can land on it. Isn't that cool? We're going to leave the RGFC. There's the, you can pause the video there. There's the planet. And it's just through B31-2. This is A13A planet.
Ship has departed. Move clear of the landing pad. Ready to engage.
And that green is our fleet carrier.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
We'll slow down. Well, I need to get away from the planet a little bit where I can see it. We want to be on the sunny side. We don't want to be going in the dark. This is an uninhabited system, so it's kind of nice. Okay, so we'll come around here, probably between some of those veins. And we're going to land. You might be able to barely see that blue ring that's up there. There's a yellow ring, and then the higher is a blue ring. That's telling us we can land on this planet. It says the sun's over here, actually.
Orbital flight engaged.
I want to land right in there, I think. Right between all that blue. So we're going to go exploring. So this is what's nice about the Horizon DLC module in the game, where Space Legs will be in its own DLC with the planetary personal bases and the being able to land on atmosphere planets like Earth-like planets. See, that would be cool. Fixing to come out of Super Cruise and into a glide. Yeah, that blue material, that's kind of interesting. We'll get to check that out a little bit more. We're gliding down to the surface. Now I think I have everything, but what's so great is the carrier's orbiting this planet. So we can go back there and pick up something if we need it. Okay, coming out of glide. Now what I like doing is doing a scan around so you can see more of the planet, and you can pause the video, and if you want to see more. And there's the planet with rings where the fleet carrier is next to, and the rings that we have scanned or have fired the mining lasers at and have gathered tritium. Okay, so we are 7 kilometers above the surface. Let's get down a little bit closer, and then we have to deploy our landing gear in just a minute. It does slow you down when you do the landing gear. We haven't had any company so far as I know, since we've been in this system. I believe it is, well, it is uninhabited, but that doesn't mean no one can show up, of course. Well, the NBCs, because I'm in solo. Sys landing. Sys landing. What's wrong? It's probably my voice attack. Sys landing. Sys landing. I think I can do it manually too. I don't know why voice attack didn't work. I'll have to check that out.
Landing gear deployed.
But we can do it manually. We have to. And we had to. I talk about how Elite Dangerous is broken in areas. Well, the voice attack app is broken in areas too. So we're 1.3 kilometers above the surface. You can see to the right of that on screen. Pretty soon we're going to thrust down to the planet. Now we have to watch the gravity, because if the gravity is real heavy, we'll slam into the planet. Sys alternate. Sys alternate. Oh, come on. My voice attack's not working. Okay, my voice attack must have crashed. That's why it wasn't working. Sys alternate. There we go. So we feather going down to see how the gravity is going to react. Because I have slammed into the planet many times. Let's move over to the left a little bit. Go down a little bit so we can see the planet's surface again. There's a spot. We'll go forward a little bit too. Yep, you need horizon. I couldn't imagine not having it. It's telling us that we'll be kind of on a side slope, which is fine. See, I think this is a treat. I really like running around on the planets, collecting raw materials. Okay, we are on the planet. Isn't that cool? I like it. Sys down. Yeah, we got voice attack back. And we have 4 SRVs. I used to carry 8, but because of synthesis, learning about synthesis, you need to watch that video, those videos. We can gather material, or when we gather materials, which I have a pretty good stockpile of materials.
Low gravity warning.
We can rearm, refuel, and repair our SRV. Sys lights? Sys lights? Yeah, I have a command and I've forgotten what it is. I need to look it up, but I got a piece of paper that tells me. Oops, I don't want to be on this side of it. Let's get on this side. I like you to see the side of the ship when it takes off. And our engines are too high. Because we will slip, slide, and away. See, that cobalt looks better, especially when the sun's right above. It's supposed to be above, but it's probably not super bright. Kicking up particles. Get on the turrets. See, this is your point of view when you shoot skimmers and stingers. Sys, ship.
Ship dismissed.
Isn't that cool to be able to do that? And watch your ship go. Goes into orbit with the fleet carrier, because the fleet carrier is in orbit. They're both in orbit, this planet. Sys right. No, sys left. Sys left. Sys left. I guess he went back to the carrier. Usually you see your ship. A symbol of your... no, yeah. See, I'm the blue. You can usually see your ship too. So it must have went back to the carrier. Interesting. Now that back radar is your material radar, and the bottom stuff is raw material. If it's at the top, it can be man-made or alien-made. It's manufactured something. And sys right. Okay. Now you'll see the symbol on the left, the one that's like a planet with an orbit. Those are raw materials. The one that looks like an arm, that's manufactured materials. And you see these ones with 150, that's grade 4 for raw materials. And grade 5 for manufactured materials is at 100. You can only have 100 total. So I have quite a few in the raw and manufactured. Now this is encoded. See, 100s, the grade 5s, maxed out. So I go to the material traders and I move things when I have an abundance over to the grade 5 of each category. So I can always transfer them back. So eventually, what would really be cool, if that's max, all of it, that would be really cool. So maybe someday I'll get there. Okay, we need to do a scan around to see what's here. I consider this a treat. Ooh, look what we got. We have upper level. You know what that means. There might be stingers and skimmers here. And our lights are off. Might be a little ways away, but we gotta go check that out. As you know, we check things out when we're on planets. Now I have noticed, like see the planet with the ring is right in front of us. I have noticed if you go toward those bodies, a lot of times you will find the upper level blips for some reason. It doesn't make sense, but hey, it does work. And that's what's happening here. It's toward that. And gravity is pretty light, so we're kind of floating a little bit. Now if it slips, it's going to turn us in the opposite direction about every time. And that drives me crazy. That's why I set the engines to the lowest setting, so it won't slip as badly. I need to make sure that we're recording. And we are. So we'll do more of this too, as we'll be doing more of the asteroid surface mining. I call this surface mining too, but it's the planet surface mining because we'll be shooting rocks to get their material, just like you do with asteroids. You shoot them. There is something up here. Sometimes it's a ship, or it's a satellite, or it's a bunch of skimmers and stingers. But what I found, don't count on anything. It can be totally different. That's why I saw that Guardian skimmer, which is very rare. Found it next to a crashed burning ship, and it shot missiles at me. See, if I had the ship down here close enough, I could have the point defense and it would have taken out that missile for me. That's an unrecognized signal though. I don't remember that signal. We're not getting a trespass zone yet. It would be a red box on that lower thing. And if I feel uncomfortable, if we get in a situation where we're attacked by ships, I exit to the menu and come back because it'll reset the scene. Because I'm not much into taking on ships. Ooh, crash site. We have a down ship. Sometimes there's materials left, but we want to check it out, because that's what we do. Yeah. You didn't fare so well. And sometimes there's an occupied escape pod. But I don't see anything. Very interesting. See, we go exploring and we find interesting things. Let's see if there was something else. We are going to collect some of that material at some point in this. Just trying to see. Okay. See, it'll keep showing up on your radar, but you can go back to the main menu and come back, and it'll go away. It just resets the scene. Let's go shoot these rocks first, and then we'll reset it, because we don't want to keep coming back to the same location every time. We want to see new stuff. So let's go shoot some rocks. Sometimes those crash sites, though, are guarded by skimmers and stingers, and sometimes have occupied escape pods next to them. The pilot could still be in that occupied escape pod. I didn't see one of those. Now, of course, you and I don't have escape pods for some reason, so I guess they figured you didn't want to sit around on a planet for a few decades until somebody found you. Okay, we have bronzite. So the turret's on the top, we'll shoot it. There's another one over there. I will show you a little bit about synthesis too. You can even rearm, reload, or repair. Okay, this material is carbon. I currently have 141 out of 300. Sis scoop.
Cargo scoop deployed.
We picked it up. That one, Zirconian. We have 37 out of 250. See, the 250 says it's a grade 2. And there's iron, which is a 300, so that's a grade 1. And we currently have 169 of those. And the last one was nickel. And we have another one we can shoot over here. And when we fill them up, I like going to the material trader and moving them over to a higher grade. I keep hitting that handbrake instead because I haven't done surface exploration in about a week, or a couple of weeks probably. Well, more than that. It's been over a couple of weeks. Okay, there's some sulfur. We have 176, you see there on the left. I like to just kind of get an idea every once in a while where we're standing. Now I can zoom out, wrong way, so I can see what's showing up. Now what doesn't show up, and I need to be doing this because we've been doing asteroid mining, sys left is see, carbon, remove carbon from ignore list, but we'll have to add it back to the ignore list when we do mining. So, asteroid mining.
Handbrake is on.
Now we can pick up the carbon. We have 144 out of 300. It's a grade 1. And nickel is a grade 1, 64 out of 300. And see, we're picking up that crash site again. So we're going to have to go back to the menu and come back to reset that. So now the scene is reset. I just want to show you that because if you ever get in a situation you're not comfortable with, like if ships come down and want in their instead of a square, they're a diamond, that means their weapons are drawn. You can exit. I know there's purists that don't like that, but it's a game. It's supposed to be about enjoyment. If you get into a situation you don't enjoy, you can exit to the main menu and come back to get into a better situation. Now this lower signal is like the bronzite, and the double signal is an outcrop. The outcrop's supposed to have more material in it. Okay. I'm always having to check things. Let's check out the outcrop. I'm hoping we see some stingers and skimmers. Is this right? I need to work on that combat rank. It's 17%, and in live it's 18%, because they took the snapshot for this beta a day before I came out here to Sothis. I was out exploring planets. Like those big rocks, those are really good for cover when you're shooting at skimmers and stingers. You can find a big rock like that. Works pretty good. Because your turrets will stick over the top of the rock and they can't get a lock on your SRV, so they don't shoot at you. You're shooting ducks in a barrel. They can't shoot back. No, it's a bronzite. Okay. It wasn't a thick enough signal. You can usually tell by those signals. And you're shooting from a higher perspective. You can tell the fragments are not going way up in the air, so it's got a pretty good gravity. Sys scoop. Sys scoop.
Cargo scoop
Okay.
deployed.
Iron. See, once upon a time when I would look to the right and to the left, those panels would pop up. That would drive me crazy. I did not like that. So I disabled them in my controller, or in the, so when you look at them, I disabled that, and I have to do it by voice. Sys right, sys right, sys right, Sys left. And that's voice attack. Now, it doesn't always work the way you'd like. Okay, I must have got them all. I need to check the contents every once in a while because since I ignore things in asteroid mining, they'll be ignored here. And it might only be that crash site that we see, but you never know. We keep looking for an upper level signal. Oh, I wanted to show you about synthesis. Sys right. Go to modules. Go down to like fuel tank. Hit that. I can refuel my SRV 94 times. Just with standard fuel. This is the fuel that you normally run around in. See on my fuel gauge it says 0.23. That's how much it uses per hour. And if I went to standard, I can refuel 35 times and it gives me 100% more efficiency. So it'd be down to like 0.13 or 12 or something like that. Or yeah, 11 or 12. Now this premium, that's cool. You can run around for a 4 times longer on this fuel. And you see it's sulfur, arsenic, mercury, technetium, and 35 times. And so let's say the hull, this integrity, the hull, I can repair my with iron and nickel that we've been collecting. 87 times I can repair the integrity of the SRV. Now when you aboard your ship, the integrity goes to 100%. And let's say our weapons. We have 1960 weapons available. 91 times I can take it back to 2000. Isn't that cool? And that's just by collecting materials. It's called synthesis. I think it's really neat. Why you need to watch my videos. I try to share everything I've learned in my over 2,200 hours. Now, things that were not on your radar before can show up on your radar at times. That's why you'll see we'll cross our own tracks because there might be new stuff or whatevers. Checking the time. I try to keep it not too much past an hour, but we can do a lot more of this stuff too until the beta runs out. But I want to show you everything we can do while we're here. It's kind of a neat place, neat system. Maybe it's not a double hotspot or anything like that for tritium. It's a lot of fun, but as you've seen in the fleet carrier, our fuel tank has 1,000-ton capacity and it's full, and we have an additional 540. And we have one of our viewers say he's going to deliver us or sell us 1,000 at the 90% of value. And I certainly appreciate that. I don't see it yet. If you're watching currently. Now, they don't give you great information on the fleet carrier about who purchased from you. And what they purchased from you. I wish they'd give you more information so I could easily tell. I just know that I've put about 540 into storage. Sys left. See, phosphorus is on my ignore list, so I gotta take that off. make sure I don't have anything in ignore. See, we use phosphorus for our refueling. So phosphorus is good, so sulfur and phosphorus are really good. Now, we're not going to be down here long enough to use a whole fuel tank. Takes much more than an hour, probably 3 hours to use up just a standard fuel tank. But if we did, yeah, we're not getting upper levels except for that one crash. But I definitely wanted to show you this. Now, I slid and was able to catch it. Sometimes, almost every time, it'll turn you 180 and make you face the opposite direction. And that drives me crazy too. Wish they'd fix that. No matter if I go downhill or uphill, there's a lot of times it'll turn you 180. Even with my engine distribution set to like a half a notch. Now that helps keep you from sliding as much. I mean, it's light, but it's not super light. But I do like running around in the SRV. I really do. So we'll run around on another planet at another time. Our live right now is strictly the prime time grind all the time. And then the beta is where we have more fun. You see, I can look in both directions without panels popping up. So that's always great. That drove me crazy too. Okay. Is this left? Yep, we got them all. Because if something was hidden, we'd want to unhide it. Well, we're getting close to the end of this video. Make sure you look to the bottom right hand corner of the screen and press that subscribe button. Help me out with YouTube. Doesn't cost you anything and you'll be notified when I create more videos. See, I like running around planets and shooting rocks and collecting materials. Sis left? Sis left? Yep, we had sulfur on our ignore list. So that's not a good thing. Well, it's because we ignore it when we're doing asteroid mining. But to me, this is mining. Same thing, you're still shooting rocks. Asteroids are just a big rock. So I call this surface mining. It's planetary surface mining. Some people are just too picky. Okay. Well, this is always fun. Sis, ship.
Ship recalled.
Ooh, we're recalling our ship. Isn't that cool? We gotta make sure it doesn't try to...
Retracted.
See, it's a square that's hollow. You know what that means? It's owned or has a human pilot. A real one, not game. Like if you're in open, they're hollow. If it's a diamond, they got their shields deployed. So, you can see that upper level on the sensor? It says it's manufactured something. not just manufactured materials on the ground like a canister, but it's like a ship or something like that. Unmanned Commander R. Giles Squadron GFM-R competent. Now lawless, that means if somebody destroys me, they do not get a bounty. That means that they just don't know. I don't remember seeing it as lawless. Maybe. Now you don't have to be straight in on it. You have to be under it. I usually hit the brake when we get to the end. Assist down. Board ship. Isn't that cool? We're just having too much fun. It's a good game. If they'd fix the issues, it'd be a great game. Yeah, I like going back to sys deploy. Okay. Sys deploy. Okay. I'm trying to make sure my weapons are not drawn. Okay. We use our thrusters. Sys landing.
Landing gear retracted.
Sys left. The RGFC. Mass lock still on. So the only thing we can do is lock on it at the moment. See where it's at. Might be below the planet. Yep. So we need to come out here and go into Super Cruise. Sys alternate.
Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage. 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Now that escape vector is not a bad escape vector, like what it is the interdictions. That one's supposed to save you. You gotta get around the planet. 'Cause that's where the RGFC is. It's around the planet. Sys left. Sys left. It's open to all. Squadron name is GFM RDG. We don't have a jump planned for the fleet carrier. It's not applicable for our reputation. We do allow notorious docking. Has the appropriate landing pads for the Python, yes. And yes, again, open to all. Okay. Let's go find it. Ooh, we were on too fast. We were going too fast. Sys left. Okay. See how close it is? Isn't that cool to have a movable personal station that close? Again, like I said, when I was in CEOS and I went to land on a carrier, I got attacked.
Thank you for visiting this carrier.
It's just a generic message. It said, thank you for visiting your carrier. But they don't. So we gotta be ready to get out of here if we have enemies show up. Sys left. Now I haven't seen it on when I'm trying to dock on my carrier, but I have seen it when I tried to dock on other carriers.
Docking request accepted. A landing pad has been assigned to you, Commander. Request accepted.
Now, the fleet carrier is supposed to protect the ships around it too, but it didn't protect me. I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday when I got attacked. So just be prepared. I don't know all the ins and outs. Like they said, you'll learn more about the beta and the fleet carrier in beta. So we're learning. See the diamond on the fleet carrier? That means he's armed. He has weapons.
Landing gear deployed.
And there was a commander that just wanted to test it. So he's supposed to be like an elite combat rating, and he has all the modded weapons and stuff. And he unloaded on his fleet carrier with his best weapons, because the fleet carrier is supposed to be indestructible. He said within 1 second he was dead.
Docking complete. Engines shutting down. Hello, Commander. How may we assist you?
He said all he could see is his whole cockpit was just full of white, and he was dead. He said these things are pretty formidable. We can go to advanced maintenance. I like all of this. I think it's really cool having this on your own ship. Yeah, it charges me a tariff, but of course it just goes right back into my balance, into the fleet carrier's balance. Now, sys down. The first SRV is it now at 100%. They're all at 100% because we boarded and refueled and all of that. Well, I appreciate you coming along, as always. Sys deploy. Okay. The double bars, I was just kind of surprised.
We have an airlock malfunction on deck A. Maintenance units, please respond.
Okay. Okay, whatever. Make sure you press that subscribe button in the lower right hand corner. I'm still learning everything. So you're always learning. But then I forget. And doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, and helps me with YouTube eventually. Why is there commercials in my fleet carrier? I don't get paid for those. I have to pay all the bills, so why is there commercials? There's a lot of whys. And you get notified when I produce more videos by subscribing. The video in the description, you'll find ways to donate. Please consider donating. Underneath the video to the left, you'll see my YouTube channel page, GFM_RDG, where there's over 540 videos, I'm sure. As of this video, there was, last I looked, was over 535, and I've done many since then, so I'm sure it's way over 540. As of the publication of this video of about everything, even surface mining. You can look up those videos where we run around more planets. So we'll do this some more too. We'll go check out another, like the moon that's below this one on the system map one of the next times, but I want to do some more asteroid mining too. So until next time, thank you for watching.